Bo Bichette is back to doing Bo Bichette things for the Toronto Blue Jays, and we could not be happier. So without further ado, let's jump into this Bo appreciation video. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside my co-host, Nick Gosse. We got a little something different today for you guys. And before we break that all down for you, we just want to remind you that we are on the road to 1K right now. So if you're watching this video, make sure to like and comment on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton. We said it last video, and I'll say it again. We got the best Jays content on YouTube, and you don't want to miss out on this stretch run.
Definitely. Hit the subscribe button, leave comments, and hope you enjoy this different style of video.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it, Nick, because Bo Bichette is back, and it's a great sight to see as a Jays fan.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who were down him earlier in the year. He had a rough start, but now he's starting to come back, and the resurgence of Bo is upon us.
It's something to see, and when he gets hot, he's one of the best hitters in baseball. He has that type of ability, that type of talent, and Jays fans and media alike, they were quick to write him off. They
Yeah,
were saying the league figured him out. Everyone was starting to figure out his tendencies, his weaknesses up at bat, and that could not be further from the truth.
yeah. You can see a tweet here by a Jays fan. He goes, apparently me calling Bo Bichette the most overrated player in baseball fixed him. Now, there were tons of people. It just goes to show everyone was calling him overrated. People were debating whether they should trade him at the deadline. I heard a few people asking to call him down, bring him down to AAA for a bit. People were harsh out there, man.
I don't know if I've ventured to that dark side of
No,
Twitter.
me neither.
I didn't go that deep into it, but I don't know, man. You're on Discord, you're on all those things, so maybe you saw some things that were not meant to be seen.
Yeah, there was more than you could even imagine, especially on like Reddit and stuff like that. Now he did start off poorly, but even his poor start was still above average hitter. So
And it wasn't above average to his standard per
correct.
se, but in the first half, he did look a little bit lost at the plate, and he had a couple of decent stretches, kind of sporadically. Like he would have like a 5 game stretch where he would hit 400, but they were all singles and not much power to show for it. He wasn't walking at all, and he had like a few hot streaks, but overall, it was a disappointing first half for Bo.
Yeah, it was awful, but uh, you have to look at it both ways though. He's still young. He's still
hmm
I don't know how old he is, but he's super young, similar to Vladdy.
24, 24.
24. There you go. So you couldn't really expect him. At least I didn't have like crazy superstar expectations at the start, but yeah, I don't know. He'll be good though, and he's continued to do so.
Look, and he's still not going to be a guy that has an on-base percentage of 500. That's not the type of player that he is. And Jays fans are going to have to accept that. He's an aggressive hitter. He loves to swing the bat, and he's pretty darn good at it when he decides to do that. Now, in the last 30 games, one stat stood out to me. This is probably the best 30-game stretch of his career, power-wise, on base wise. His on base plus slugging percentage, OPS, 972 in the past 30 games. That's great. That's elite level.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal, and we'll have a look at his stats now in a few minutes. But if you look here now, he also bouncing off that the longest streaks without a strikeout. He had 24 straight plate appearances without a strikeout, and for Bo, that is unheard of.
He was striking out a lot in the first half of the season, and he's still going to strike out. That's a part of his game, just because he is an aggressive hitter and he does chase pitches. But like we said in the last video, you take the good with the bad with Bo Bichette, and right now the good is really, really good.
Yeah, he's hitting everything. You can tell it looks so much different when he's hitting the way he really has hit his whole career compared to the first half. Much more confident and transition into his defense as well.
Everyone's going to look at that 3 home run game that he had against Baltimore. Everyone's going to look at the recent homer hot streak that he's had, whatever. But what stuck out to me is that he's hitting doubles,
Yep.
a lot of them, and he's pulling the ball off 95 plus mile an hour fastball, something that we did not see early on in the year.
Yeah, he's hitting it, pulling it, he's hitting it away, he's hitting bombs, oppo field. It's a huge difference.
Absolutely. And he had a monster series against Baltimore. He was 7 for 14 in those in the last 3 games. What I think something like that.
Yeah, it was something
Something
wild.
ridiculous like that. And his slugging was off the charts. He was hitting home runs,
Yep.
hitting doubles. It was just like he was locked in that entire series.
Yeah, and this isn't gonna be in the stream, but I saw someone say something along the lines of Bo Bichette. It was the third game, I think, of the Orioles series because he went like I don't know, ridiculous the first 2 games. He was like, Bo's cooling off. He only has a 1,000 OPS now through the first 3 games. So just goes to show how hot he's been.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable, and this is what the team needs. He's the catalyst. Him, George Springer, and Vladdy, when they get hot, they have the ability to just catapult this team into a different stratosphere. They can take these guys to new heights that they didn't see in the first half. And the difference, I want to mention this, the difference between when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gets hot and when Bo Bichette gets hot is pretty big, and I'll explain why. Now, Vladdy is a hitter. He's always going to be a hitter for the rest of his career. His job is to go out there, put the bat on the ball, and he does that about as well as anybody. But when Bo is clicking, when he's swinging the bat, swinging a hot bat, I should say, his defense gets impacted, and it gets impacted in a positive way, and that just bodes well for the whole team. Vladdy plays first base. When your shortstop is hitting and making plays, that has an effect on your entire team. What do you think about that, Nick?
I agree with you. He shortstop is one of the most important positions, if not the most important on the field. So when you're playing really good offense, it's mental for especially for shortstop with so many balls hit to him. If you're playing good offense, naturally, like any sport, really, it'll bounce off the other way as well. And the thing with Vladdy is, I don't think Vladdy lets his defense affect or his offense affect his defense as much as Bo seems to.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And Vladdy is mature beyond his years. Bo still has a little bit of growing up to do.
Agreed.
And Bo is he's all about flair. He's a flashy player. He loves to impress. He loves to wow the crowd. And when he's clicking, he's able to do that with regularity.
Yeah, when he's hitting well, he seems to do more like Troy Tulowitzki like plays, and he actually seems to actually make them. But
Yeah,
and Vladdy, even if he's hitting poorly, like he has the past however many games, I don't know if he's 4 for 30 or something, but he's his defense has been still stellar.
yeah, absolutely. And that's just a testament to how Vladdy was brought up, how mature he was at a young age, with all the expectations, being the son of a Hall of Famer. But the same thing for Bo Bichette. Different players, though. It varies for everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely different for everyone. Some players have more mental strength, I guess, when it comes to that, and some like Alejandro Kirk, he's the same way as Vladdy. Even when he
Yeah.
has little struggles, his catching is still it's not great, but it's Kirk level. So it just depends on the player. And so when Bo's hitting, that means when Bo's hitting good, it means his defense is also excellent.
And now the errors are still an issue for Bo Bichette. He still has 17 errors on the season, which is quite a bit. It's the second most in the American League, behind Javier Baez, who probably is going to turn out to be the worst contract of the decade for the Detroit Tigers. But this is a Blue Jays show. We talk about the Blue Jays, and we don't talk about the crosstown Detroit Tigers for good reason. They suck. Now, Bo Bichette, he's going to make errors. It's a normal thing for a young shortstop to do, and we've seen it with Xander Bogaerts in the past. We've seen even Derek Jeter make errors, a lot of errors when he first came up to the big leagues. It's an adjustment, and he puts in the work. I'm not worried about his defense going forward.
I'm not either. And again, like we already said, he's 24 years old. Even if he continued to have a poor offensive season, I still had faith in him. But if his defense, he needs to make his defense better all the time, and I think hopefully this is the start of it. I think he needs to get like Vladdy to where his defense isn't impacted as much by his offense.
And at the time of this recording, which it'll probably be the same way once this video gets posted, he's up to 22 home runs now and 80 RBI on the season, which in a down year for a shortstop, I'm taking that 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, you can see here his stats. Well, this is his stats from 2019 to 2022, but you can see, like you said, 2022, 22 home runs, 80 RBIs, OPS plus of 119. But it kind of just goes to show that his stats this year, now that he's had a little hot stretch, are on par with last year. And
Yeah.
in his first 2 years, he didn't play as many games, 46 in 2019 and only 29 in 2020. So he really hasn't played that many games at a big league level. Last year was his first year, so he's on the come up. And another thing to note, just quickly, is that hitting is down like league wide.
Exactly.
So he has a 119 OPS plus with an OPS of 776, which is like he has the same OPS plus as last year, but with like 40 less OPS. So.
Look, it has still been a down year. This recent hot stretch that he's had has helped him sort of recover and make his numbers look more elite than they have been. But I'm not worried about Bo Bichette, and he is key to an October run for this team. And if he keeps doing what he's doing right now, I don't know what could stop this team come October. Maybe the 5th starter spot.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Vladdy, I think he's also a pretty critical, important player. He's been cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too worried about him though. I think he'll come back, and George Springer as well. But I'm sure that could be another topic for another video. The most important Blue Jays, but Bo's definitely up there, and him hitting really saved us in that Orioles series. And without him, I don't know where we'd be right now.
He carried us in that series. He
Huge.
single-handedly gave us 2 out of those 4 games, single-handedly, and
Yep.
could have even had the 3rd one by himself if the offense decided to come through and not just allow Bo Bichette to play by himself.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for another like Mitch White poor start, we would have been talking about a sweep in the last video, and Bo Bichette carrying all 4 games, like you said. But hopefully, he can carry it on to Texas starting tonight.
Mitch White meltdown, that's what it was. It has a nice ring to it too because it's been happening pretty often. But anyways, Jays fans, that's about all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know what you think of this type of content. It was a ton of fun to make, a lot shorter, a lot more concise, a lot more to the point. That's what we like to give to you guys, and there's a lot more on the way. So Nick, it was a blast, man.
Yeah, it was fun. Again, like you said, let us know if you liked it, or if you want to see any other players. I'm sure we can do this and more.
Absolutely, but this had to be a Bo Bichette feature. It was long overdue.
For sure.
All right, peace, guys.